TV.
Welcome to the Rise Above Show with Patricia Jo Grover, where we rise above our challenges and turn believers into achievers. Today, I have with me Justin Pogue, and let me tell you a little bit about Justin. He's the CEO and founder of Rental Secrets and is an award-winning author and real estate consultant. His book, Rental Secrets, has already helped so many people around the country. Fox News, the Mercury News, SFG Gate, Realtor.com and ApartmentTherapy.com have all featured his insights for the benefits of their audiences. Since 2003, he has developed and managed apartments, rental homes, and student housing across the United States. Justin holds a degree in economics from the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania, as well as an MBA from the Darden School at the University of Virginia. Welcome to the show, Justin. It's so wonderful to have you with us.
Great to be here, Patty. I look forward to it.
Awesome. So we're going to jump right into, I have a new segment of the show, This Grammy Doesn't Knit, She Cliches. And I want to be able to have some fun taking old adages or words of wisdom that we may have heard from our past and see how they relate to today, if they still have that, same power and wisdom to them in today's society. So what one do you have for us, Justin?
Yeah, absolutely. So people in the know always get better deals.
Oh, and that we know that, if sometimes it's who you know or what you know that can help you move forward in, faster or in a positive direction, right? So yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Yeah. So how does it relate to what you do now, Justin? Can it be tied to anything that you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So what I do is I actually teach renters how landlords think so they can negotiate better when they go to rent a property.
Oh.
So most people don't actually know that you actually can negotiate rent when you rent a property. And they also don't know what levers they can pull in that negotiation so that they can be effective.
Oh, that does make a lot of sense. Well, thanks for playing along with me because I'm doing research. Believe it or not, it helps. What the answer is, help me find out different ways and ideas to help me better serve my clients.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Yeah. So now that we've had some fun, I want our viewers and listeners to find out more about you. So I have some questions for you.
Yes, everybody has questions about renting. It's a hot topic right now.
Yeah. Okay. So Justin, so many people are facing challenging rental situations. What are some of the limiting beliefs that renters have?
There are many limiting beliefs that renters have, but a couple that are prominent are, for one, most renters believe that their landlord is a wealthy individual living on a yacht in the Caribbean, sipping Mai Tais, watching the sunset. And they don't realize that landlords actually have problems too. They're real people with real issues. Another limiting belief is that renters believe that they are competing for apartments with other renters. And there is some truth to that, but they also don't believe that landlords are competing for them in order to fill their apartments.
Oh, that is interesting. And really that does make a lot of sense. So what if these limiting beliefs, what happens if they continue to persist?
Well, if you continue to believe that your landlord is an individual who has no problems and no issues, then you won't believe that you have any leverage to negotiate with them. They don't need any help from you. If you continue to believe that, but that's not really true. And if you continue to believe that landlords are not competing for you, then you have no reason to understand the power of what you're bringing to the table as a renter. Renters are bringing a lot of really useful things with them, and they're bringing a lot of useful things to the table. But if those limiting beliefs will prevent them from understanding that value that they're bringing to the table.
Okay, now let me ask you, does this work with commercial people who are commercial tenants as well as residential tenants?
Yes, it does. As a commercial tenant, it's a little bit different, but there are things that commercial tenants need to be bringing up in their conversations with their landlord. For example, if you are a tenant that brings traffic to the property that other tenants can make use of, then that's something you want to bring up in your negotiation with your landlord. I'm bringing value because I'm attracting people to the property, and that has helped serve the other businesses who are also paying you rent.
Okay, yes, that does make a lot of sense. So, really, that's kind of almost like being set up for maybe like an affiliate program when you have people referring potential tenants to a landlord, right?
Yeah, you can actually have tenants refer you renters. In fact, it's one of the best marketing tools that are out there. It's word of mouth advertising. And another aspect of that is if a tenant in your building refers someone to you, you can be pretty sure that the person they're referring is somebody that they would want to live next to, which means the other tenants in the building would also likely like to live next to that same person.
Awesome. Oh, those are great tips. So Justin, do renters actually have the power in that landlord rental relationship?
Yeah. So we mentioned earlier that negotiation is possible, and I know people in your audience are like, okay, how do I do that? But yes, the renters do actually have power. What landlords are looking for are renters who have decent income, who have decent credit scores, who get along and play well with others, who don't destroy their property. And you're bringing so these are things that you're bringing to the table. And they're important for the landlord because it's not so much about charging top dollar for everything. It's really about cash flow continuity is what landlords are looking for, because they've got bills and obligations that they've got to pay on their end every month. So sometimes reaching for top dollar ends up with the landlord having higher vacancies, more turnover. And the issue with vacancy is if the apartment's vacant, the landlord doesn't receive any money for it, and you can't get that money back. I can't rent you an apartment from last week. We have to deal in the present.
Right. Oh my goodness. Those are such great tips and good points, Justin. So we're going to have to take a quick moment for a message from our sponsor, 133 Approved Funding, and we'll be back in just a sec. And we're back with more questions for Justin. You know, Justin, why does this power go unused so often?
Well, the reason why it goes unused goes straight to the reason why I actually wrote this book. So I had this experience where I'm in the bookstore and I'm looking at the real estate section, and I see books for owners and managers and investors and everybody under the sun in real estate. But I never saw a book there that was written from the renter's perspective. And it's interesting because they're just the ones that are bringing over $500 billion to the table every year to pay everybody's salary in the industry. So there's no real resource out there that people can go to find out about this power. But on top of that, when you finish college or you finish high school, they're supposed to be preparing you for adulthood. But really no conversation about financial literacy, negotiation, and with rent being the major expense that people are going to be paying as they enter adulthood. And there's no conversation about how do we negotiate this? How can I save on this expense? In a real, very real sense, we kind of set people up for failure because we're not giving them the tools and tips and resources they need to make the best out of whatever situation they're in.
Oh, that is so true. I really never thought of it like that, Justin. But yeah, I mean, when I call kids going off to go to college, if they're living in dorm situations, that's different than if they're living in some type of student housing,
Mm-hmm.
and even after that on their own, and if they've never been exposed to even what it's like to have a decent credit score to be able to get a rent,
Yeah.
all these things.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So I'm really working on getting us away from, learning through trial by error, um, and you know, giving people opportunity to learn from the experiences that I've had in managing properties and in renting properties, and the experiences that people I know have had. And if they can start off with those experiences, then they're much better off. They're much further ahead of the game than they would otherwise be.
Right, because you're giving them the opportunity to see both sides of the coin there.
Absolutely.
Right, right.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness, fantastic. And yeah, congratulations on seeing the need for such a thing when you were doing the research on what was out there, right?
Hmm.
Right. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Justin, do people need special skills or talents to be able to use the secrets that you've shared with us today?
Nope. Absolutely not. Um, the secrets that I'm sharing are tips that anyone can use, regardless of your background in life or where you are, or what experiences that you've previously had. The one thing that people are missing is just the knowledge that this is out there for them. Um, Unfortunately, many people have a consumer mentality when they look at the renting situation, and it's been ingrained in them every day, from birth, essentially. And people are trained to, like, when you walk into a store, you go into a store, you see the item you want, you see the price on the shelf, you grab that item and you go to the cashier and you pay that price. There's no negotiating with the cashier over what that price is or anything. And people bring that same mentality to the rental market. But the landlord is under different pressures than the retailer is. If the retailer doesn't sell that toy today, they can sell it tomorrow and the price will be the same. But for the landlord's perspective, like we discussed earlier, if an apartment is vacant, that day of vacancy that they would have received rent for is gone forever. So there's really time pressure that landlords are under to rent properties as soon as they can. Because, as I mentioned before, they've got bills and mortgages and other things, staff that they've got to pay and other things that are going on. And those things don't stop just because an apartment may be vacant.
Oh, exactly, exactly. Such great tips here, Justin. And so thank you for being here and sharing this with us today. Do you have, I know we have your website here. Can you tell everybody what that is?
Oh, yeah. So the website is rentalsecrets.net. And they can get more information about me, the book, and other things that we're working on there.
And I am going to put up your guests for the viewers and listeners today.
Yes, I do have a free gift for everyone.
Okay.
My free gift is called Apartment Search Secrets, and it's really to take a lot of the stress and mystery out of the apartment search in general. Because moving is one of the most stressful things that people can do, and it's right up there with marriage and divorce and starting a new job and all of those things. So this gift will kind of pull all that stress out of that process, and make it easier for people to do what they need to do.
Awesome. Awesome. So that's fantastic. And I hope our viewers and listeners really take a look at this and utilize it, because it sounds like such a great tool.
Yes, yeah,
So
absolutely is.
there you go. So that you have that information, and I've shared it here on the screen too. And for those of you that would like to find out more about me and how I serve, you can go to patriciajogrover.com. And if you'd like to take advantage of the gifts that I have to offer, if you text the word goal to 26786, and I have more information on the little video that's going to follow up behind us. So until next time, rise above the challenges that life brings your way, and have a great day. Thanks for being with us, Justin.
Thank you, Patty.